Agri Addict helped me to give the right direction. So it helped me to make the right decisions. Like before I took Agri Addict, I was very confused about resources and all those aspects. So it gave me a lot of clarity in terms of what to study, what not to study. It always kept me on the right path and made sure that I don't get distracted into other unnecessary, let's say, resources or topics which were not very important. So I feel like it played a very major role in my preparation, making it very effective.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel Agri Addict. So today with us we have one of the topper of ICAR PG Plant Sciences Exam 2024, that is Anika Prakash, who has secured an All India rank of 31. So we are very much excited today to listen to her story and how she has become the topper of this exam. And she is here to share her experience and the journey of becoming the topper of this exam. So before we start, Anika, I welcome you to the session and please introduce yourself.
Um, Hello, myself Anika Prakash, and I have completed my undergraduation from University of Agricultural Sciences, Bangalore, GKVK. I have an OGPA of 9.175 out of 10. And in the JRF exam, I have secured 348 marks and an overall rank of 31. And also, I have secured second rank in my state.
Okay, that's very nice. And congratulations for securing this
Thank,
very good rank. And
thank you.
what about your counseling? Have you attended the counseling?
Yes, ma'am. I have attended the All India Counseling. I was allotted to Krida Hyderabad in genetics and plant breeding.
Okay,
But I have chosen state counseling over the All India Counseling.
okay. You prefer to stay in your home state.
Yeah.
That's great. So let's get started. Before starting, so the very basic question, why you wanted to do MSc and why in the plant sciences subject?
Ma'am, my interest to start MSc was during the second year. I had one of my professors in UG who used to take genetics for us. So his way of teaching and the way he used to portray genetics as a subject really impressed me, and that's when I got interest in genetics and decided to do masters in that. But my preparation as such started in the third year.
Okay, you have started from the very beginning of third year.
Not the beginning, ma'am. Third year, second sem.
Okay, third year, second semester. So that counts to 1.5 year of preparation.
Yes, ma'am. Approximately, yeah.
Okay, so we'll see the books that you have referred and the way you have covered them. You can tell us about this.
Yeah, so to begin with, I started with genetics. As we all know, some of the basic recommended books, that was BD Singh by genetics and the objective genetics. In this books, I followed BD Singh by genetics and Agri Addict's notes. The other two books, I didn't go through them completely, even though I wanted to. Genetics and the notes, that was pretty much sufficient, I feel like more than enough for the exam.
Okay, so for the very first time, like you have covered genetics first among all
Yes,
the subjects.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you have read completely this BDC?
Not completely. I have selected a few chapters to leave out, like the ones which Sir used to mention in his classes, the ones which were not very important, like regulation of cell cycle and those kind of topics. So, leaving that, I have covered the whole book.
Most of the books. Okay, how
Yeah.
many months you have taken to this genetics?
Uh, Genetics, the first round to complete, I took about 2 months.
Okay, 2 months.
And yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
So,
and
around 2 months.
yeah, continue.
Around 2 months in the first go, and then after that I attended the classes by Hari Prasad sir and went through their notes. So that took me about another 1.5 months.
Okay, so when did you take our course?
I had taken the course in third year, second sem,
Okay,
but I started utilizing it more in fourth year. Like the moment I purchased, I didn't use it that much. Later on, I used to use, like, I first did a reading of genetics on my own, and then I attended the lecture and the notes.
How was it? Like reading it on your own and listening to Hari sir classes? How was it? Was it beneficial?
Yes, ma'am. I think the first time when I did a reading, it really overwhelmed me a lot. After reading that, I thought it would be easy because I liked genetics as a subject. But after reading the book, it was kind of complicated. There were a lot of things which I didn't understand in the first go. But then when I listened to Sir's class and went through his notes, it gave me like a lot more clarity than what I had on reading rather than reading on my own.
Okay, that's very nice. Yeah. Coming to plant breeding.
In plant breeding, yeah, as usual, everybody has a confusion of either BD Singh or Punan Singh. I also had the same confusion. So first, I decided to opt for an easier one, and I went with Punan Singh.
Okay.
After covering Punan Singh, I had seen some of the lecture classes and even notes, and they had suggested to pick out a few topics from BD Singh, and I followed the same process. There were only few chapters which I read from BD Singh. That was the introduction or the history part, and then there is about varietal release and those kind of few picked topics which I studied from BD Singh, but otherwise almost the entire book I didn't touch at all.
Okay. So after giving the exam, did you felt that was it sufficient for the exam, reading Pundan Singh and few selected chapters from BDC?
Yes, ma'am. I think it was very much sufficient because I feel in genetics they give mostly statement based questions which requires more understanding.
Yeah.
So I think to keep your understanding basic and strong is very important for breeding.
Okay. So what about the mock test? So have you attended this objective book?
Objective book, no, ma'am. In breeding, I didn't attend the objective book, but the appendices which are given at the end of the book, both for objective genetics as well as objective breeding,
Okay.
they helped me in the last few months to revise like the topics like history and certain important events.
Hmm.
And all of that, it helped me quickly cover in the last minute. So that's what I used it for.
Okay. So in a day, on an average, how many hours you use to study?
Ma'am, initially when I started my preparation, it used to be hardly about 2 to 3 hours.
Hmm.
But as time progressed and the exam came closer, I would say about 6 to 8 hours.
Okay, 6 to 8 hours. That's good. Yeah. Coming to plant pathology.
In plant pathology, even though these are some of the fundamental books which my seniors recommended and many people do recommend, um, I completely adopted my UG lecture notes because the fundamentals course, that is the first part of classification and the second topic, was very well covered by my professors. So I had the class notes which I had made during my lectures. So I stuck on to that completely. And but I have also referred HC Dubey.
Hmm.
But I feel the notes was something which I gave more importance than any of the books because it was very easy for me to.
Yeah. And what about this modern plant pathology? Have you referred it?
Modern plant pathology, I personally did not refer it because, as I mentioned, I had my UG notes. But many people who were studying plant sciences in my college referred modern plant pathology for the second course topics, which is like the plant defense mechanisms and those kind of topics. They referred this book to cover those topics. But me personally, no, I didn't.
Okay. So coming to mock test, you used to give mock test after completing every chapter or how it was?
A mock test, I would usually give a mock test after I had thoroughly completed one particular topic.
Hmm.
For example, if I finished reading bacteria or virus today, I would have completed that. And then in the night, when I tend to be a little sleepy and don't feel like studying, that was
Okay.
when I used to attempt the mock test. And tomorrow morning, I would analyze them.
Okay. That's nice. Yeah. Next we have seed science and technology.
For seed science and technology, I was 100% dedicated to the lectures by Sir and his notes. It was like the only material which I referred. None of these books I have referred, even though there were few people who preferred TNAU notes in my batch. But I was completely dependent on Hari sir's notes. It was really helpful for me. And I don't think anything came out of that. So I think it did the work for me.
Okay. So all the questions that appeared in the exam were covered from the notes.
Yes, ma'am, it was completely there. Yeah.
Okay. So that's very nice. Yeah. Microbiology.
In microbiology, I first read the NG Ranga notes, which was a pretty crisp and precise e-notes which my seniors had recommended.
Okay.
And after that, Toro and Kapoor book on the first 5 and last 5 chapters. So I selectively studied only those topics, and those were the topics which were mentioned in the syllabus. So that much was sufficient. And after that, I attended some of the mock tests on the Agri Addict platform.
Yeah. How much time you have dedicated for these minor subjects?
Minor subjects, I would usually pick it up in between sometime when the major subjects would feel very bulky for me. So used to like maybe take about 4 to 5 days for a minor subject. Like seed science took more time. Microbiology, I would say about 4 to 5 days, and biochemistry 2 days, physiology 2 days.
Okay. So you have read only for 2 days.
Yes, ma'am. That was the first reading. Later on, I would revise it before the exam.
Yeah. So when did you finish your first set of reading, the whole syllabus complete?
The whole syllabus I had completed sometime during, I would say, February or March.
Okay. So
So,
you were left with 3 months for the exam.
yeah, by March, I would say by March I had completed one round.
Hmm.
After that, I went on to revise the
Okay.
important topics again.
How was your revision strategy?
For revision, I followed different approaches for different subjects because for genetics, I went on to read Sir's notes again and even BD Singh again. But for doing the same for breeding was a little difficult. So I did not want to go back to BD Singh again. So I just revised Kundan Singh again. And I had made notes in my first reading.
Okay.
So I used those notes along with the book when I was revising.
You have made notes for all the subjects?
Ma'am, I had made notes for genetics completely, all the chapters.
Okay.
And I had also made certain like flowcharts or crisp notes for pathology and a little bit for physiology, not for all the subjects.
Okay. So remaining you have referred either from your UG notes or from the Agri Addict notes.
Yes.
Okay. That's very good. Yeah. Next, coming to the biochemistry.
Biochemistry, I had covered from my UG notes again. And these selected topics, which was the carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, these were all mentioned in the syllabus. So I picked only those topics and read it from my UG notes. And I also read the Agri Addict's notes, which was provided on these topics.
Okay. How was the classes?
Classes, I feel they were very accurate and precise, and they gave you a direction of what to read and what not to read. Because for somebody who studies biochemistry as a minor subject, it may confuse them a little as to what depth they have to read. So I feel that the class and notes tells them exactly how much to read and what to remember.
Okay. That's great that it has precisely told you what to refer.
Yes.
Yeah. So coming to plant physiology.
Physiology, again, I think it's a very important topic, even though it's considered a minor subject. We see that almost every time there is some question or the other which comes from physiology. And I think a basic understanding is enough. I didn't refer any textbook for physiology. I referred to my notes. That was TNAU notes I referred for physiology. And I covered only those required topics, mainly photosynthesis, respiration, the nitrogen assimilation, fixation, and those kind of topics. And in physiology, I also feel the nutrient deficiencies, their symptoms, and certain disorders, those are also important.
Okay. So, and also you have mentioned about Agri Addict Rishav classes.
Yes, ma'am. I think Sir's classes was really helpful. I have just watched sir classes and I made my notes from that, and that is exactly what I revised before the exam. It was very helpful for me.
Okay. So as we know that during our fourth year, we won't find much time to read. So
Yes,
how is
ma'am.
your strategy in your fourth year?
Actually, fourth year, I faced a little bit of trouble in the beginning. We had Rave in fourth year. So I can say that almost my Rave period, I was not able to study that effectively.
Okay.
I had a lot of other work going on in Rave. But after I completed my Rave, that's when I got time to study properly. Like when we were back in college, that is
Mhm.
when I set a proper routine and started studying.
Okay. So what was your feel on exam day? How much you were confident?
On the day of exam, I feel like I was confident about my preparation, but I was a little nervous about the paper. Like I didn't know if it was difficult or how it was going to be, and like I had a little bit of doubt. But when I started attempting the paper and I saw so many questions which were familiar to me, I think in the first 15-20 minutes of starting the exam, like it gave me a good confidence because
Okay.
I saw so many questions which I was confident about. So after that, it gave me good confidence.
Okay. So you used to attend the mock test with the same interface as that of the exam, and sitting in the examination hall, how was the feel?
Actually, I feel like the mock test really helped me in giving the actual exam because it was the same interface as you mentioned, and also the type of questions were similar, like statement based, or it may be like match the following kind of questions. So kind of gave me a very familiar feeling. So it felt like, okay, I had done this before, so it didn't trouble me during the exam. It was very smooth going, but
Okay.
I was faced with one issue that was deciding what question to leave or to attempt.
Okay.
So it was a very tough call for me during the exam. So
Uh,
apart from that, I don't think I faced any other difficulty.
okay, that's very nice. And you have become more acquainted with the exam feel very early. I heard that someone took 40 minutes in the before interview. They took 40 minutes to acquainted with the examination hall and all. So that's
Mm.
more time, and you got very little time, and you have acquainted very early.
Yes, ma'am. It was pretty comfortable because the first few questions when I started attempting and I knew the answers to them very well.
Mhm.
So it gave me a good amount of confidence in the beginning.
So that,
Undoubtedly, later on, I did have certain things which I was very doubtful about, but yeah, when I knew the pattern in the beginning, it gave me a lot of confidence.
yeah, that's great. Yeah, coming to general agriculture, how did you cover this?
General agriculture, Nemrat Sunda, I used. And I feel like because I had a good base in my UG classes, I didn't quite focus too much on general agriculture. Like I just gave it one proper reading, I say about a month before the exam.
Okay. So you did
So
not start it from the very beginning of your preparation. You just read it in the last 1 month.
yeah, I read it in the last 1 month, and on a daily basis, I would read about like an hour of general agriculture.
Okay, daily 1 hour.
Yes.
Like, if you can tell us how many times you have revised the whole syllabus, number of
Whole
times.
syllabus, I think completely two times, yes.
Okay,
Once was the actual covering of the syllabus, and second time I have revised the whole syllabus. And I would say maybe I have given one extra reading for genetics.
okay. And also few selected topics you might have gone through.
Yes, ma'am. The like last minute revisions,
Yeah,
few topic selected ones. Yeah.
that's nice. Yeah, you have also given us few more books. You can tell us about this.
In this, I referred current affairs from a PDF which was available online. Like I got it through some Telegram channel, let's say about a month before the exam. So I just took a printout of that and I read that PDF for current affairs. And instant plant science, I referred this book to cover seed science, microbiology, certain minor subjects.
Okay. So what about this? Are you involved in group discussion while reading these things, or you went for self-reading?
I would usually prefer self-reading, but I had a few friends who were preparing for the same exam. So after my session of self-study, like during a break when I would take a break, so
Mm.
me and my friends would discuss like what we read, like if we had any doubts, we would clear it out during the discussion. So we would have like doubt clearing kind of thing with my friends.
Okay, that's very nice. Having a good friend with whom we can discuss is also a
Yes.
bit. Yeah. So we have almost come to the end. So before we summarize your preparation, you have mentioned about the some of the tips that might help your juniors in the upcoming exams. You can tell us that.
So first of all, I would say that is we need to know what is our strength and weakness. If I had to say, my strength was genetics, but I had a little problem in remembering orders of pathology and the numbers in seed sign. So those were my weaknesses. So I feel like you should first identify those and give more time to what is required. And the next one is a realistic study routine, because I feel like all of us will be motivated and we will be like, I want to study for 8 hours a day or so. But in reality, with college going on, that doesn't happen most of the times. So there was a time for me in fourth year where during Rave, I couldn't study much at all. So I had to be realistic about it and let go of that part and start later on when I had time. So I feel like being consistent and realistic about your duration of study is important. And I believe that the quality studying is much more important than a longer duration, because I would not be able to concentrate for more than 2 hours at a stretch.
Okay.
That was like maximum, like not more than 2 hours. So I feel that the duration was less important and the quality or the focus which I had during that was more important to me. And also, in plant sciences, there are subjects which require memory, and there are subjects which require a lot of understanding. So I feel it's very important to understand concepts before we move on to next. Like understanding genetics very well or properly is important before we move on to breeding, because a lot of things we get much more clearer when you have a basic of genetics pretty well.
Right.
So that was one thing. And yeah, this I think was one problem which I faced, that is distracted by too many books and resources. So before I joined Agri Addict, that was during my third year. I had tried to collect resources from my seniors, and I had a variety of suggestions for books, and it really confused me a lot. So when I started with the class and I started to reduce my resources, that's when I feel I was able to study it accurately and properly.
Mm.
And yeah, according to me, one reading is never sufficient. At least for me, it was not sufficient. I read it once to understand thoroughly, and revised it at least one more time so I could retain it well during the exam.
Yeah,
And
many.
I would, yeah, and I preferred to make my own notes, but I was selective about it. I did not make my own notes for all the subjects and all the topics. As I mentioned, I did it for genetics and a part of pathology and physiology. So it helped me revise a lot quicker during the final days. And mock tests, the mock test which I gave during the Agri Addict platform, I think they helped me a lot, especially in knowing where I was going wrong, what I was missing out, or the topics which were my weakness. So it helped me identify all of that and correct it before the exam. And I feel the question pattern and the assertion reason type of questions or the statement question, it really helped me to pick up speed during the exam, because our paper was a lengthy one and I've heard people struggled with the statement type questions, but I did not find it difficult at all because I had seen all of them in the mock tests.
Okay, that's very nice that it gave a similar kind of interface and the confidence for you to attend.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the last one, decisions during the exam. This is where I think I had faltered, because sometimes we don't know whether to attend a question or to leave the question. I feel you should make a wise decision during that time, because one wrong decision can give you a negative.
Yeah, that's very
So
true.
I feel that even though we are confident enough about the question, we should like read it properly and then decide that if we want to attend that question or leave that question.
And
So
that too
that I
in the
think
last,
that is very important.
that too in the last 5 to 10 minutes, we have to be very cautious. Like
Yes, ma'am, that's
before
true.
completing the exam, we might go for a question even if we are not knowing it. So
That's correct.
that we must avoid. Yeah,
That's
that's a very nice suggestion for all your juniors. I hope it will definitely help them if they're going to watch your video. Yeah,
yes.
very nice. Yeah, we have come to the end of this session. Let us summarize your preparation and put it in a single slide. You can tell me about this. Flow of the subjects you have covered.
First, I started with genetics, and then I moved on to pathology, and then I did breeding. Following that, the minor subjects that was seed science, physiology, biochemistry, microbiology.
Physiology and general agriculture in the last 1 month.
In the last, yes.
Okay. So duration of your preparation?
Uh, to say I had started in my third year, second sem,
Yeah.
but I would say that it was 1 year only because my fourth year, first sem, I didn't do much during that time. So it was basically my third year, second sem, and fourth year, second sem where I actually studied properly.
And out of this, you have kept 3 months for revision. If
Yes,
I,
ma'am, 3 months.
yeah, 3 months for revision. And how many questions you have attended? In the
In the exam, I attended about 100 questions, close to 100.
okay, 100 you have attended.
And I lost a few marks in negative, like I think around 11 marks I had lost in negatives.
Okay.
So that's where I had missed.
What about the general agriculture portion? Have you attended all the questions from general agriculture?
General agriculture, I guess I have attended most of the questions. I remember missing one question of the match the following,
Okay.
which was, I think, about the scientists, if I was not wrong, a journal and scientists or something like that. So
Like,
I had missed that.
okay. How was your time management strategy? How much time you took to see the questions from 1 to 120?
Hmm. To complete first round of the paper, I think I took about 1 hour 15 minutes,
Okay.
and I was very selective during my first attempt.
Mhm.
As in, like those which I was confident that I didn't know, like I didn't wait on it. I just skipped it immediately.
Okay.
And the ones which I knew very confidently, only that I had marked in the first round.
Okay.
So
So in
that
the
was, I think, about 65 questions.
Mhm.
So the remaining ones which were left were on a doubt. Like I was not very confident about it. So then I had another 45 minutes left to decide on those questions which I had left out.
Okay. So you have visited them. And
Yes.
have you visited these questions also, which 65 you were very confident in the first round? Have you
No,
done
ma'am, I didn't.
that? No.
No,
So
I didn't.
only one time.
Once, like I was very sure. As I was marking, I used to double check if I have marked the right option.
Okay.
After that, I didn't visit it again.
Okay. That's nice. It might help your juniors, the strategy to maintain the times.
Yes, ma'am. Because I think in that front and back, when we keep moving, it consumes a lot of time without us realizing. And
Yeah.
sometimes we tend to doubt ourselves. Like after you mark it, you doubtful if it's right or wrong. So I
Yeah.
didn't want to do that. So to avoid it, I never visited what I was confident about.
Mm. That's one good strategy. That might well help. That might work for few of your juniors.
Yes.
And average hours of study?
Ma'am, I would say in the beginning, 5 to 6 hours. So during the end, that was with, let's say, a month to go for the exam, 8 hours.
Okay. 8 hours. Yeah. Number of mock test attended?
Um, Ma'am, I think I'd attended all the mock tests, especially of genetics, breeding, and seed science. I missed a few of microbiology, that's it. But
Mm.
I can easily say I'd done more than 80 to 90.
Okay. 80 to 90 mock test you have done. That is where you have gained the confidence to attend the exam.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's very nice. And if I ask you which was the topic or the subject that was difficult for you, and how did you handle it?
I found pathology, the first part, a little difficult. That was the classification and the orders. Even though, like, I had a good notes and, the professor had taught me really well, like, I somehow couldn't retain it really well. So I had a problem in that. So for that, I made my own flowchart and I used to refer it on a regular basis so that I don't have a problem in remembering them. And the other subject which I had a problem was again with seed science, where even though I understood the concepts really well, I had a problem in memorizing all those numbers and percentages. So for that, Agri Addict's notes really helped me a lot, especially the crisp notes which they gave during the last few days. So I took a PDF of that and I used to revise it again and again, so it would help me remember better.
Okay, that's very nice to hear that our materials has helped you in a very good manner.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was very nice, and you have summarized it very nicely. And before ending, I have two more questions for you. If I would ask you, what is the role of Agri Addict in your overall preparation and securing this very good rank? So what would be your answer?
I think Agri Addict helped me to give the right direction. So it helped me to make the right decisions. Like before I took Agri Addict, I was very confused about resources and all those aspects. So it gave me a lot of clarity in terms of what to study, what not to study. It always kept me on the right path and made sure that I don't get distracted into other unnecessary, let's say, resources or topics which were not very important. So I feel like it played a very major role in my preparation, making it very effective.
Okay. That's very nice. And thank you for all the appreciation. And we are ready for that. And any final suggestion that you would like to give for your juniors who will be aiming for this exam?
My suggestion would be to study what you don't know first, like, or what you're not confident with first. So you don't have to leave it to the end and get tensed about it in the ending. And also, I feel this exam demands not only knowledge, but also it demands your comprehension skills. Like you need to be able to read fast and comprehend the sentences very quickly in that short period of time. So I feel building up your confidence with mock test is as important as studying from the textbook. And I feel even previous year papers help in building your confidence.
That's very true. Going for as many as mock test, that is very good for your preparation. This we have heard from many of the toppers that they have attempted many mock tests, and that is where they gained the confidence, and that is where they remained at peace in the examination. All that was the key for their success.
Yes.
That's very true. So, Anika, that was very nice. And you have nicely explained your preparation journey, whatever your juniors might be wanting to know from you. And
Yes.
it was a great session. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. And before ending, students, if you are not aware of our courses, we have two different batches for ICAR PG exam. That is Shrestha and Samartha. Shrestha is for 2025 and Samartha is for 2026, and it is a foundation batch. And the two batches are live now. And in 6 different subjects: plant science, soil science, entomology and nematology, agronomy, social science, and horticulture. So in this, you will get a live plus recorded classes along with the doubt clearing sessions, crisp and concise study materials, one-to-one mentorship and doubt clearing sessions. So if you want to crack this exam with the top rank and be the topper in the next year, join us and learn from the best. Thank you. Anika, it was great. Thank you for joining us. And I wish you all the best for your future studies. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.